What's up guys, Toy Bro here, back again for a look at NECA's latest quarter scale TMNT figure. We have got Leonardo, the leader himself here, and we're going to take a quick look at packaging, so let's move him out of the way as gracefully as I can. We're going to take a quick look at packaging. Let me pan down here. So we've got our same box we've had for the entire series up till now. We've got our movie style graphics with the New York City skyline. We'll turn it to the side. We've got a shot of Leo in various ways. The logo, the back has some more product shots, a write-up, the turtles down on the bottom, and then I got to point this out every single time, they have the FHE style home video logo, but in the NECA styling, which I just think is great. It's cool that they do that kind of stuff. So I'm not going to pull him out because he's already out. So let's take a closer look at this figure. All right, guys, here is our Leonardo figure out of the box. He is my most eagerly awaited figure in this line. You know, there's only 4 of them, but I've always been a huge fan of Leo in pretty much all properties TMNT related. I do have a soft spot for Raph in this movie, in the 1990 movie, but Leo's always been my overall favorite turtle. I think it mostly comes down to, you know, he's got swords. I think that's really what it comes down to, especially when I was a kid. So let's take a closer look at this figure, and we'll go over articulation first. So I'm going to pull his swords out, because as I've mentioned in every other review, space is at a minimum here. And those swords are enormous. So we're going to do articulation first, just because it's easiest to get rid of. And he's the same as all the other turtles. There's no difference there. So the head can go all around. All of the limbs, the arms and the legs, are ratcheted. So they go up and out. There is no bicep swivel, but you can swivel at the shoulder. He does have a double jointed elbow, and I think it's slightly different than Donnie and Raph. I feel like I'm getting a little bit more movement than I was on the other two. The wrists swivel, and they have hinges. Now, obviously, this guy comes with a buttload of hands, just like the others do, and I already swapped them out to kind of play around with them, but this hand has an up and down vertical hinge, where this one has a side to side. So, as you saw, you can have him kind of pointing the sword downward, which I think is excellent. He does have that diaphragm joint, so it allows him to swivel a little bit, so you can get him in a little bit more dynamic poses. The legs are ratcheted, and this is going to be, you know, loud because there are ratchets in there, all the way out. And they do go forward. They go about 90. Mine are still really, really stiff, so still trying to loosen them up. But they can get into some pretty high kicking poses. Joint at that knee. You know, the elbow and the knees are going to be hindered just because they have the pads in there. It's just the way they're designed. The pads are also hinged. They move independent. And then we've got swivel and a hinge at the ankle. So overall, he's, you know, for what he is, for how big he is, you get a lot of articulation out of this guy. And you can get him into far more interesting poses than I would have ever expected. Now, as far as the paint job goes, we'll look at that next. He's basically the same kind of thing we've expected from the rest of the line. So we've got a wash on the entire figure in various shades of different greens and browns and blacks. The elbow pads have a wash in them, as do the wrist straps and the knee pads. The straps also have kind of a distressed paint job on them. And then we've got the shading on the shell. Even more so on the inside, on the interior. The back obviously has shading all over it, different browns on the scabbards here. And then he's, of course, got the various spots all over the figure. And then there's different shading levels in the various areas on the musculature just to bring out that sculpt. As far as the face goes, that's really where I think the paint shines, at least, because it helps bring out his character. We've obviously got the blue with shading in the bandana, which, of course, flows like all the others into a soft goods bandana, which I think works really well. If they get the colors matched about as well as I think they possibly could. And then, of course, we've got those eyes that, I mean, they just look about as lifelike as possible. All right, now as far as sculpt goes, there is a reason that I have said over and over and over again that these are probably my favorite toys of 2017. Just look at this guy. He is amazing. There is literally nothing wrong with this sculpt. I just think it's beautiful. This thing is about as close to a work of art as I can see a toy being without it being, sideshow Hot Toys level. This guy's only $100, but look at all you get here. So he is just beautiful in terms of sculpt, and they are for the most part the same, but Leo is actually a little different. And I thought this was going to be the case based on some pictures I had seen, and this is the only thing I've noticed so far, the tricep area on Leonardo is not the same as Donnie and Raph. They are identical. Leo is different, and it's a small thing, but this looks a little more anatomically correct to me. I'm not a huge turtle scientist. I don't know turtle anatomy, but the musculature in this area on their arms looked slightly weird, for lack of a better term. This looks more humanoid to me. So that's a cool little addition. He's obviously got the difference in the straps here, which is again kind of like a pleathery look and feel, but it's obviously some sort of plastic. And then we've got these scabbards on the back. And one thing that I've seen a lot of people talking about are these holes at the top. And, it looks weird, but I actually checked, and this is how it looks in the movie. You don't really see it very often. The one place that I was able to easily catch it while looking for it is when the turtles fall through the floor in April's apartment into the antique shop. As Leo gets himself off the floor, you can clearly see the back of his scabbards, and they do have this opening. I don't understand why. I'm not sure what the design choice was for that, but NECA got it down. And then obviously this guy has got straps sculpted all over him. The shell is really a humongous part for sculpted detail. Just look at all of the, the line work in there. It's great. It's excellent. So he's probably very similar to Donnie. He's definitely not the same as Raph. Raph's is all scratched up. And then, of course, the head. So Donnie and Raph are a little more expressive in terms of their face sculpt with how they've sculpted the mouths. But I think at the same time, that is Leo. He may not be grinning or smiling or showing his teeth, but that is Leonardo, and I think he just looks great, and those eyes look especially good on him. You can see a lot of just the seriousness in this character in that face sculpt. I think they did a beautiful job. Not that the others aren't beautiful too, they're fantastic. But there's something about this Leo that really, really gets me with that face sculpt. I think it's out of this world. All right, so let's take a look at accessories now. You obviously already saw, while we were just doing a quick little look at the guy, his katanas. And I think these are probably my favorite accessory of the line so far. I mean, just because they are enormous. Look how tall that is. They are, what you would expect to get out of Leo. The blade is all silver with a kind of a rustic dry brushing all over it. Handle's got the brown and black wash in it for the wraps on there. And then, of course, he comes with two. Now, you can put these in his hands just fine. I don't really have an issue with them. But my problem is that they might have a little bit of paint rub. Just moving in and out. It's kind of just how it goes. So, but once they're in there, I mean, he looks awesome like this. He looks great. And obviously, you take him out, spin him around, and they'll go right in that sheath in the scabbard on his back. No problem. So definitely kind of the standard when it comes to what you would expect to get from Leo, but this is nothing standard when it comes to these toys, so we're going to take a look at the rest of his accessories because he obviously comes with more if you've seen the other two figures so far. Alright, so just like the rest of the turtles, he comes with an assload of hands. He's obviously already got two on there, so this is the side-to-side hinged hand, and this is the vertical hinge hand. He has one of each for each side, so he comes with two verticals and two side-to-side. That would be these two right here. We've got two kind of style pose hands. We've seen these with the other turtles. We have got a pointing finger. This is the same hand that comes with Raph. So Raph has this one. I'm not really sure why Leo has this. Maybe because he's the leader, he's got, to point at the enemy. But Raph had it to point at the Sai, because that's the scene in the movie where he pulls his trench coat aside and points at the Sai. Then he's got his pizza holding hand, and this, of course, is the piece of pizza he comes with, and it is the same that the other turtles come with. I was under the impression it was different for some reason with Leo. Clearly, I'm wrong. And then, of course, he comes with a ooze canister. This is the TCRI radioactive material. This is the one that comes with Donnie. This is the cracked one. Leo's is intact. So this is from the first movie. This is kind of from the second movie, if you want to look at it that way. But either way, very cool. It'll add to your kind of diorama if you're going to set something up for these guys. So, this is the same old, same old. All I'm doing is gushing over these figures. They are, like I've said, probably going to be my number one toy of 2017. I don't understand how it's possible for what I purchase and what I collect to top these figures. NECA is weaving some sort of magic or sorcery to get these things out at this price point with all these accessories at this scale. It's just crazy. I don't understand it. I don't need to understand it. I just have to keep buying them. I cannot wait to get a hold of Michelangelo in a couple months, and hopefully those baby turtles that they showed at Toy Fair materialize and come out as well. And hell, who knows? Maybe we'll get a Splinter or a Shredder or whatever. I'm buying everything they put out in this line, in this scale. So if that doesn't tell you how much I love these figures, I don't know what does. That is going to do it for this review, everyone. As always, stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And until next time.